Next up, a personal favorite from my youth. Boy, do I remember seeing this at the drive-in. LASERBLAST, folks, 1978. This one got picked up by Full Moon Features, and it is on Tubi. When an outcast teenager finds an alien weapon left behind in the desert and goes on a rampage, each laser blast transforms him further into an alien. Starring Roddy McDowall, who has a decent role in this film, Kim Milford in the starring role, Cheryl Smith. Keenan Wynn is also in this film. One of the great things about LASERBLAST is the fantastic stop-motion animation by Dave Allen. And you can see a bit of it in this trailer. Check it out.
This could all be happening right now, somewhere on this planet. It's the story of a UFO that has landed and visitors from a galaxy light years away. It's an adventure unlike anything on this planet. A weapon that might belong to us in the future, but is here now. LASERBLAST.
Next up, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, another great sci-fi horror film from the 1970s. Now, this was the second adaptation of the fantastic Jack Finney novel from the 1950s. Of course, the first one was by Don Siegel, also in the 1950s. It is a fantastic adaptation of the novel. I plan on doing a sci-fi horror book of the month club on Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or the Body Snatchers, because there have been several adaptations, as you guys are aware. They did an adaptation in the 1950s. 20 years later, they did another adaptation, this one, 1978. About 20 years later, in the 1990s, they did another adaptation that was by Abel Ferrara, and I believe it's just called The Body Snatchers. And then in the 2000s, almost 20 years later, they did another adaptation called Invasion. Expect to see another adaptation of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I'm sure before 2030. As it says, this dazzling remake, well, actually it's not a remake, it's just another adaptation of the original novel from Jack Finney. In any case, as they say, 1956 Spine Tingler stars Donald Sutherland, Brooke Adams, Jeff Goldblum, Leonard Nimoy, and Veronica Cartwright in an eerie tale of possession by alien pods. You know, that kind of feeling one day when you look around and people that you thought you knew suddenly seem like aliens? Yeah, folks, that's no mistake. And that is why the book is consistently being readapted every generation. Because when it comes down to it, it's a universal truth. There's no way I was going to do a sci-fi horror segment without including the great Don Dohler and the 1978 film Alien Factor. So Alien Factor reminds me a little bit of LASERBLAST in the sense that there are a lot of special effects in it. You got spaceships, you've got stop motion animation, but on an even lower budget. You may recall his fantastic magazine, Cinemagic. I still have a few dozen issues from that, and I sometimes refer to it if I'm doing special effects for a film to this day. That is the impact that Don Dohler had on the independent film world. A spaceship containing dangerous alien specimens crashes on Earth near a small backward town, unleashing a bloodbath on its residents. And here is a short trailer for Alien Factor.
Something is not quite right. And I think we ought to call in the state police.
Next up, we have David Cronenbergs 1975 shocker, Shivers, also known as They Came From Within. The unsuspecting residents of an apartment building are in danger of being wiped out after a twisted medical experiment goes awry. And this one is a classic 70s body horror film, as only David Cronenberg can give you. You may recall his other 70s body horror flick, Rabid, which is excellent, and I've covered that before on the show. Currently on Tubi, there are 3 or 4 David Cronenberg films, including Shivers, Rabid, Dead Ringers. So if you haven't seen it and you like sci-fi horror, and in particular body horror, check out Shivers. Next up, it's End of the World. Yes, the film that Christopher Lee was kind of duped into making. Strange signals from outer space lead a professor and his wife to a remote convent infiltrated by aliens on a mission to destroy the diseased Earth. Starring Christopher Lee, Kirk Scott, Sue Lyon, Dean Jagger, and Lou Ayres. As I understand it, Christopher Lee was told that there were going to be a few other stars in this film, kind of like bigger stars. And so they kind of duped Christopher Lee into being in this film, thinking that he was going to be acting with some larger actors. But in an interview of Christopher Lee that I read a while back, he just basically said this was a film, The End of the World, that he regretted making. So with that, here's a short trailer for you.
They walk among us. They look like us. They have a power far greater than we've ever seen before, and they have decided to destroy us. You have everything to look forward to, except tomorrow. End of the world.
And that brings us to the 1971 film Venom. I cannot believe Tubi has Venom, but they do. As it says, a man holidaying in a Tyrolean village gets caught up with seductive women and a nerve gas made from animal experimentation. This is one weird freaking movie, okay? The only thing I can suggest is go on to Tubi or go to YouTube. See if you're interested in watching this film. It's just bizarre. It says here it's rated PG-13. This ain't no PG-13 film. This is a full R-rated film. There is full frontal nudity a couple of times in this film. There is TNA. I don't know where they got that rating from. It could be just a mix-up.